Hello, 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 hello. I know it's been a few weeks since I've done this, and I am so sorry that I left you guys hanging. I want to make sure that we get back on it, and Wednesdays are a better day for me, honestly. So I'm sorry. Thursdays are out, Wednesdays are in. We're going to do a video every Wednesday answering questions that you guys have been asking me. So please keep the questions coming. I will make sure to do a better job about doing these every single Wednesday. I am dealing with a lot of sellers right now. The market is really hot. Sellers are noticing. They're seeing how much they could be putting profits in their pocket. And so they're electing to take advantage of the hot market and put their house up. But whenever you want to put your house up for sale, you're thinking about, the money that you could be making most of the time. Or maybe you don't even care about the money, but you just have to leave. You have to move. In either case, you don't really want to be dumping money into a house that's no longer your home. So let's talk about making sure that we are getting your house sold for the highest dollar and the cheapest amount possible. I have a few things that I've really noticed. I've been told starting in real estate, I was told these things, and now that I've been doing it for a few years, I've definitely noticed the difference that these items can make. So I have 5 steps making sure that your house gets sold for the highest and fastest, because it shows super well. First, we want to make sure that your first impression is really good. So people are going to be seeing the front of your house on listings. That's going to be the first picture that shows up when they're flicking past all the houses. It's always the front of the house. So we want to make sure that the front of the house, the landscaping looks really good. It's not all cluttered. Flower beds are looking their best. Then as you walk up to the house, a buyer walks up to the house, they're going to be waiting at that front door for what feels like ever while the real estate agent is fiddling with that blue key box thing, trying to get a key out so they can go look at the house. So that's the spot where a buyer is going to be standing still and looking around in a circle for, 5-10 minutes. So we want to make sure that your front door and your front porch are looking super good, impeccable. If that means like a fresh coat of paint on the door, awesome. If that means, restaining the deck, awesome. Whatever little things it takes in order to make sure that that front entry, when you're walking up to the front door, really shines. And that's also going to come through in those first pictures that grab people's attention when they're flipping through listings. Oh, this one looks interesting. I want to go look at this one. Okay? So making sure that your first impressions are really strong and really great. And it doesn't have to be huge. Just clean up, tidy up, fresh spot of paint, fresh stain if that's what's needed, whatever. Okay? Second one, when somebody walks into the house, I know, like, in the buyer's brain, they realize that the house is not going to come with all of the stuff that's in it, right? They realize that, but at the same time, they get really distracted by the stuff. And if there's too much clutter in the house, then it can start to feel like there's no space. There's no storage. Oh my gosh, these rooms are small. Oh my gosh, there's nowhere for me to put my vacuum. There's no coat closet because look at all the coats that are hanging on the banister over the stairs. Whatever, okay? So we want to make sure that we're really pre-packing, all right? sellers, you're already moving out of there. You already got to pack up, so just go ahead and pre-pack as much as you can. Let's get this space cleared as much as possible. That way, when a buyer comes in, they see the space for the spaciousness that and the grandness that it is. Let's not overwhelm them with the clutter, okay? We also want to be able to give them the ability to, I'm sorry for the train. Hopefully it's not as loud for you guys as it is for me right now. We also want to be able, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. We want to give them the spaciousness. We also want to make sure that they can see themselves in the space. They can see exactly, oh, this is where I would put my bed. This is where I would put my dresser. So don't declutter to the point where there's no furniture left in your home. A vacant home, yes, is spacious, but it's almost too much of a blank canvas, and buyers can't always see exactly how this enormous living room would be laid out until they see how you have it laid out. And they're like, oh, that makes sense. TV's right here, living room's right here, and then we have a casual seating area, and then we have a dining room. Oh, I see. Now I understand this, how I would lay out this massive living room, right? If you have decluttering and pre-packing also ties in with your family mementos and all of that stuff. We want to make sure that that's put away as much as possible. That way, again, it's blank enough for them to see how they would live in it. Give them enough space to be able to focus on their family pictures and their life in it. Okay? Right along with that also comes cleanliness. I understand that your house is not, you live in it still as a seller, and it's not going to be as clean as the magazines and as perfect as the magazines. But it's really important to just go ahead and do pay for a deep cleaning service to get in there and dust those blinds, clean those windowsills, go around and dust the top of the baseboards. You know, really getting in there and making sure everything is clean. There is, I want to say there's nothing worse, but I mean, there's always worse. But it's very highly distracting for a buyer when they come in and they can smell the dog in your home. They can see the dirty dishes from breakfast, and they're distracted by the grossness of last night's leftovers that are from dinner. They're still sitting on the stove. So we want to make sure that we are not distracting them from the beauty and the presence of the home, and we're really making sure that the house is clean and smells great and is shining to its best. Okay? So first impressions. Second, making sure it's decluttered as much as possible. Third, making sure that it's clean as possible. Fourth, making sure that any little repairs that are just like temp weekend jobs, you know, like a broken outlet or even little things like, you know, that bathroom light bulb that's been burned out for months, maybe even years, go ahead and replace that. Little projects around the house that you've been avoiding, go ahead and take care of those patches, take care of those fixes. It's little bitty and it shouldn't be a problem, but to a buyer, it's just one more check, one more thing that they have to deal with on top of moving in and, I don't know, repainting the walls pink or whatever. Just take care of those tiny repairs. If it's something big, like the entire siding needs to be replaced, you know, the roof needs to be replaced, Those are big ticket items. We are doing this on a budget. Leave that for a buyer or an investor who's interested in the property. But the small things that you can tackle on a weekend or a couple of weekends, go ahead and do those projects so they aren't overwhelming list of to-dos for a buyer, okay? The last one is all the little things. You know, making sure that the house, the light bulbs are taken care of, making sure that, you know, the house smells like fresh cookies and cinnamon or something like that, and making sure that it smells great. Making sure that all the lights are on when your house is being shown. That way there's no dark corners and it feels very bright and spacious and homey. Making sure that the beds are made, you know, that there's fresh towels in the bathroom to really give it that homey feel as much as possible. All the little things. Pay attention to it. Try and make it as Airbnb, as hotel room as possible. Really pulling kind of your personality and your family out of it and seeing it as a blank home that anyone could move into and be happy in. Let's make sure we take all those political and religious things down. We don't want to potentially offend anyone or ostracize any buyers. We want to make sure that it is looking absolutely peach for everybody who walks through the doors, and it's smelling absolutely peach, and the lights are all on, and everything is just tidied and buttoned up. So to recap, we have making sure that the front entry, that your first impressions are always great, making sure that the house is as clutter-free as possible, making sure that the house is clean, preferably professionally clean, because they will pay attention to those things that we as I as a homeowner and a mom and a wife always forget, like cleaning my blinds and my windowsills and dusting my baseboards and all those gross, grimy, super tedious things that I always avoid when it comes to cleaning. Making sure that any small repairs are done, and then just making sure that on the day of the showing that all the little things are taken care of. If you guys have questions, I would love to be able to answer them. I will be here next Wednesday answering another question for you. If you have any real estate needs or you know somebody who has real estate needs, I am located in Snohomish County, Washington. I work all over Western Washington and Central Washington, so I would love to be able to help you. If you're outside of Washington or you're in Eastern Washington, don't worry, I network with agents all over the place. So please reach out to me. I can hook you up. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.